Hi YouTube, this is Tinka. Um, Long time no hear. So I am doing a really quick video. Um, Basically frequently asked questions. Now that we're at our 10th year, well, we finished our 10th year of homeschooling. So things about myself: I'm married. I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I have 4 children. 3 of them I've homeschooled. Um, and I'll just go into the questions that I have. Why did I decide to homeschool? It's really a long story. I think I might have discussed it in one of my really earlier homeschool videos. And I basically talked about um, how I wasn't getting satisfied with the school system here in Philadelphia, which was pretty much the biggest reason, just the school system here. And at the time, my kids were in parochial school already, and that was, in my opinion, just as bad. So, except we were paying for it. So I just took a leap of faith, and I was home with my newborn son and started making preparations for that following school year to homeschool. So just for the regular reasons, just the school system was bad, a lot of problems inside the school, and just that general environment. And like 35 schools closed, and the kids have just been going through a lot. They're always going on strike. All of those were my issues. Next question was how. So when we began homeschooling, I signed us up with Connections Academy. I think we did Connections Academy 2 years. I vlogged about that a lot on my Homeschool Journey post. And after the 2 years, we ended up just going out on our own. I guess, people want to call it classical homeschooling, but it did not take very long. Once I got kind of acclimated to just doing it without the computer cyber schooling system, it did not take me long to just start tailoring it for each one of the kids. What is important if you're homeschooling? It depends on how you want to homeschool. If you are going to be classic homeschool, old school, basically replicating what the kids have in a classroom, then you're going to need everything that you think a regular teacher uses. If you're more kind of like a little loose and free, like I am, you're going to still need some things in place so that you know where you are with certain subjects. If, say, for instance, I may not do science for 1 or maybe 2 weeks because we're working on some other things. Then I need to just know where I'm at. So I do keep a teacher's planner, and I don't plan out as far out as I did in the beginning. Like I said, just you just try things, and this hair is driving me crazy. You try things, and you see what works for your family. Family is another thing. Like, people are asking, well, how does your family, get along with your homeschooling? First of all, my family outside of this house, I think they still have questions. I feel like they, you just ask me, I would think, more questions about my kids' upbringing and education more than they would if they were just in a regular school, which I feel is a little weird. Like, if they were in regular school, I probably would get very few questions about it, but I get questions from my family still after all this time. Other family basically will come to me if they have a child that they are newly trying to teach to read, or having problems with multiplication facts. They'll ask me things that I have used or what I think would be a good supplement. So that's how family is now. Your indoor family, your family right here where you're doing the school at in the home, really has to work like together like a team. It's like a well-oiled sometimes machine. but things happen. You're going to have deaths in the family. You're going to have all kinds of things that'll just totally take you away from your homeschooling. It just won't be priority. I don't care how stringent you are of a homeschool mom or parent, but things will come up and it'll be beyond your control. So being able to deal with that early on, I just really beat myself up, put a lot of stuff on myself, put a lot of stuff on my kids, and now pretty much, we just work through those things. Age. My age is 48, I think, maybe 47. And my kids are now, Malcolm is 11, Camille is 17, and Amira is 22, I believe. So Amira is in community college. Camille is soon to be doing dual enrollment in community college and homeschool, and Malcolm is a new emerging middle schooler going to 6th grade. Schedules. I used to do them. Now I have modified it so it's not as much of a fight in the morning. So no, we do not start our homeschool like pop up early in the morning. We kind of just go through, eat our breakfast. Once I see everybody's kind of gotten that, I've had my coffee, I've returned phone calls, and I'm like, okay, you guys, let's get started. What do you have done from yesterday? Let's move on from there. So the scheduling thing has gotten a little bit less, but it just, to me, it's so much better because I don't feel bad about asking about something on the weekends either. So we pretty much have like an open policy on that. Although most weekends I do just give everyone, including myself, a break. There's no school talk, no homework unless something is really pressing coming up. Thirdly, another book that I used when I was getting started was Kathy Duffy's book that goes through all of the curriculum books that are out at the time. So it's always being updated. I'm sure my book is pretty old, but there's not a lot of additions. I did get a second one and I think I gave it away, but there wasn't a lot of additions. I just kept my old one. So Kathy Duffy, and there's a book called Homeschooling Year to Year by Rebecca Rupp. I believe that's the name of it. Look it up on the Google. Trends. I've seen a lot of trends in homeschooling. I was just talking with someone on my Facebook page about she's just getting started with homeschooling, leaving the cyber school. And she was asking me, like, I guess she, did some research and she talked with other parents, and her kids are younger than mine when they started off. So she was talking about unit studies. Now, I do remember lap books and unit studies was like all the rage when I first got into homeschooling. However, my kids were a little bit past that already. Like Malcolm was already like, able to read, and Camille was, a little bit not as mature as she would need. So we never did unit studies. I do get the concept, I do get it, but it just seemed like when I was, kind of looking at other people doing it, it just seemed like a lot of dittos, like a lot of like putting stuff way in advance. Like we kind of just live in the moment. So, I felt like that's a trend. I'm sure a lot of people still use it. It just may be for age and grade bracket that I never really had a chance to experience. Malcolm is the only homeschool child of mine that I had from the beginning to the end. Like I said, Camille, when she started, she was already in 2nd, and Amira was already in the 6th grade. So, I had to go through a lot of the withdrawal of I want to be in school, you're such a bad mom, and all of that those early years. So that will come up. Whatever your convictions are for doing the homeschooling, I think parents should stick to it. And I do believe the kids eventually will appreciate the sacrifice that you're making. Conventions, homeschool conventions, I've never been to one. Never been to one. Co-op. We had started like a co-op, And I think I talk about it in one of my videos back, and there's a couple of other ones that I have been interested in, kind of affiliated with by talking with other moms, asking questions, but not really joined another one. Number one, they're not close to me. I live in the inner city, so if you're one of those people who are homeschooling in the inner city, it's not a lot of resources unless you want to do a whole lot of traveling, and I'm not a traveling person. I'd rather use that time not in the car doing something else. And so I tried to use the whole 10 years things that were local to us, so we can maybe get on a bus and go to Center City or walk to it, or utilize our local library and free events in the summer, and all those kind of things during the school year. There's tons of things going on at the library. So we pretty much utilize that more than anything. I was, like I said, because of the age of my kids, we were pretty much past the age of like a whole bunch of field tripping and all that. We were pretty much past that, and I noticed a lot of the co-ops did a lot of that, and we had been to them. They had been to them several times over, so we pretty much didn't get a lot out of co-op, so we pretty much stopped it. So that's where I'm going to leave off at. If anybody has any questions,